Bit of a slower week in fighting, but there is some gossip going around the water cooler, as I like to call it, the Real Housewives of the UFC. Really, it's the Real Housewives of MMA. So there was a fight night this weekend in China, and I started at 4 a.m. here. Main card was at 5 a.m. here, Texas time. And I woke up, my crazy ass woke up to watch it all. I don't know if it's in China or what, but nobody looked great. No, no one like blew your hair back. Charles Johnson, probably MVP, but still, no one really blew your hair back. The Sergey Pavlovich and Waldo, whatever. You're just like, okay, not much going on there. Aljo, Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega has some soul searching to do. I love him like a brother. I've known him for a hot second. Obviously, Henner is, really close friend, longtime coach. I think I got my brown belt. I've been with Henner and Huron forever, right? When I came to LA. So those are my guys. I met Brian Ortega before he's in the UFC, cornered him his last fight before he got to the UFC. Big fan of Brian Ortega. He's one of my favorite people. The issue is for Brian Ortega is when you're at his level, when you're a veteran of this magnitude and you're missing weight, it's usually a bad sign. It's a really bad sign. And he's kind of at a crossroads, right? And the other thing is there's nothing worse in the eyes of the UFC brass than missing weight. There's literally nothing more you can do to hurt your career. It's the worst, the worst offense because they can't trust you. You're not reliable. So then they're sure as hell not going to book you in main events anymore. It makes your life so much difficult in already a difficult career when you miss weight. They just released Homeboy.
Brian Battle.
Mm-hmm. He's a good fighter, man. But, constantly missing weight, it's a real issue. It's a real issue. So they let him go. Brian Ortega's, contender. He's had some great wins. Obviously, his fight against Volkanovski, he almost pulled it off. But, so for Brian Ortega at his level to miss weight, it's just really disappointing. It's really disappointing. And then here's the thing. So remember Hamzat, he missed weight, right? And had to do a catch weight. And that's when he fought Kevin Holland on like a 2-minute notice. But here's the thing. If you miss weight and then you go out there and you put on and just balls to the wall and put on a great performance, they're a little more lenient. Like, all right, man, they're still going to be dicks to you, but they're like, all right, but you did your job. The worst thing you can do in professional fighting is miss weight and then lay a goose egg. That's the worst thing you can do. Because they go, hold up. Not only were you unprofessional and we can't trust you and you miss weight, but then you shit the bed and give a boring performance? Like, dude. Now you're checking all the boxes to... He's not going to get cut, but there's going to be some real issues for him. So whenever I see a veteran of Brian's status, and part of me that bothers me, he's not taking accountability. He was like, well, we're supposed to fight this guy. I don't want to say his name because UFC legend. And we went back and forth. It's supposed to be at 55. And then we're supposed to do this. And then we're supposed to do this. So, it's up and down, up and down. And then, and then China, coming over here, I'm just like, whoa, I see no accountability. The best thing you can do, even if that's the case where it's, they're giving you this matchup, it falls out, you're waiting on this. All you can say is, man, I thought we had it. It's on me. I messed up. It's not on the team. It's not on anybody else. Just take accountability. At least the UFC sees that you're taking accountability and you're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. The worst thing you can do when you miss weight is put on a bad performance. He would have been better off freaking going out on a shield and getting finished in the first round than losing a boring 3-round decision where his pace sucked. And he's fallen into the same trap a lot of guys are. What makes Brian Ortega an outlier, what makes Brian Ortega so good is his jiu-jitsu, his threat on the ground. That's what makes him an outlier. Yes, he has knockouts. Frankie Edgar and stuff like that. And he's had some great finishes with his hands and knees and all that shit. What makes Brian Ortega a top 5 talent is not his striking, is not his footwork. It is his jiu-jitsu. He's so dangerous on the ground. But for whatever reason, these guys get a certain level, like Bo Nickel, I can give you a ton of other examples, where they go away from what makes them special because, and it's not a knock on Brian Ortega, there's a ton of guys in the UFC like this. Brian Ortega is not an elite level striker. He hasn't been doing it long enough to be considered elite. Now you're going to say, well, he knocked out Frankie Edgar, he knocked out this, and that's fine. That's an older Frankie, but we can argue that. Again, what makes him very special is his jiu-jitsu. So when he beat Yair Rodriguez, who's a phenomenal striker, did he beat him with combinations and leg kicks? No. He submitted him. Whenever he doesn't have the ability to create scrambles or to create guard play, he's usually going to get beat by the better strikers. He just is. Diego Lopez, Aljo's a better striker. Diego Lopez is a better striker. Rodriguez, that TKO shoulder injury, that one was dicey. Volkanovski, right? And he almost pulled that off. Max Holloway. These guys are better strikers. He's not an elite level striker, but you get a big win over Frankie Edgar. You get some stuff going, and then all of a sudden, you're like, I'm just keeping it on the feet, because that's actually easier to do inside the octagon. It's easier cardio-wise, pressure-wise, just to keep it on the feet, because you're going to be draining your energy tank. You're going to be getting tired, and it's scary for guys to do. So I think Brian knows I love him. Henner knows I love both of them dearly. I think they need to have some soul search and go, okay, how are we going to get back on the right path? Because now you've lost 4 out of your last 5. And your last one, you missed weight. What are we going to do? What are we going to do where our jiu-jitsu is priority? Whether it's jumping to half guard, mixing it up, working more on takedowns. I'm not seeing a lot of evolution in his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. I'm seeing mainly a lot of pad work. So that makes me question, not Henner, he's a jiu-jitsu coach. He has nothing to do with that. Makes me question his camp. I think it's a fair question. It's a fair question, even with Aaron Pico, to go, he's been great with Greg Jackson. He's been great. He's been on this great run. But is someone in that camp trying to manage his aggression? At a high level, that aggression is going to be used against you. So if your camp's not telling you the right things, Jamal Hill, there's certain guys that you're like, dude, if your camp's not telling you this stuff, you should probably find a different camp. If Bo Nickel's team is having them work on fucking combination leg kicks as I'm talking right now and they're listening to this, you need to go to another team. There's not enough hours in the day for Brian Ortega, Bo Nickel, these two outliers as far as grappling goes. There's not enough fucking hours in the day for you to catch up to be competitive in the fucking UFC in order for you to get to a title shot. It's never happening. Yet y'all want to do that. I don't understand it. I just don't.